Yes, finance component, which is percent. What I left we are capturing here. What are those lessons that will learn yesterday? What do you think is lacking? I know all those attributes that the buyer wants, and so it's part of this program. It's part of this program. Yeah, that's where
So that's what we're saying. What we are saying, you know,
You don't have
Please, you just have 10 minutes. The secretaries should begin to complete the templates. 10 minutes. Please complete the table and then revise it amongst yourselves.
Most of these projects are and when they come, they give report to so you can see I put love. It's working like go to the plant. Every time I tell you,
So we are together in this.
So how is the work going? No, just play some phone like
I want to thank you commitment to that which is going on right now. So please, I'm sure you have filled your form, and I'm sure you've gone through it and agreed. So I'm going to start calling the secretaries of each syndicate to give us your report We're going to start with syndicate group 1, which is going on. Please, when each secretary is addressing the house, let's pay attention. Syndicate group 1, please. Just come over here and deliver your report. Thank you.
If you don't just bring the microphone while talking, the group can also chip in.
Hello? Okay, you want the mic there?
Yes, the group can always chip
Okay. So the secretary, please introduce yourself. Please let's pay attention to our policy and regulatory framework for policy and regulatory framework for ensuring security and safety. And we have what we have discussed on inputs, production, processing, marketing, and trade. So we have so many issues on all these points. Inputs, we discovered that farmers don't have access to some available inputs. There are ones that the Ministry of Agriculture have so many inputs, but most of these are just we are not aware about some inputs that all these industries. So we also observe that farmers don't have information and access to input crops and animal varieties. So the policy that what we have designed here for we have the Ministry of Agriculture in conjunction with National Orientation Agency should make a list of should make a lot of advocacy, awareness and sensitization to farmers about the availability of so many of these industries and agencies. So we also discovered another thing that another challenge we notice on input is most of the farm inputs are not easily accessible. They are not also easily accessible, even if they are very available, because they are too expensive. And so we expect governments, the policy they adopt, and we expect government to ensure that farm inputs are made available always for some period of time. Okay. And also it should be subsidized. So another thing we notice other inputs is lack of soil fertility testing. So farmers just go to farm. Farmers just go to farm to plant without testing the soil that they plant on. So majority of these farmers at the end when they were supposed to harvest, they don't have the harvest and all that. So the policy that we come up with, like the government should ensure that soil should be tested before planting through soil scientists in order to manage soil fertility. So it's farmers to know the level of fertility of soil before they go into planting of the soil. Coming to the issue of production, we discussed extensively on the issue of production, and we discovered that we need to ensure better production services, keep extension workers in partnership with universities and agricultural research institutes So knowing fully well that if you do that, you have better production at every stage. So we have this policy that the government should enforce existing policies. We have so many acquisition policies. We have the one at Ministry of Agriculture, like chemical inspection, animal inspection, and you notice that the agencies that are expected to work with all these inspection of chemical usage and inspection that we have these minerals and also National Agency of Quarantine Services. So they need to provide adequate. They also need to provide adequate security at farm clusters, because the majority of the farmers now, if we really want good security to improve security status in Nigeria, we really need to provide security for farmers at their farm clusters, because the majority of these farmers are running away from farming because of what is the challenges we are having now. And so the policy is to enforce security measures and also the existing policy on social agriculture. So what goes to processing? And then we have so many challenges about processing, challenges of food fraud, challenges of lack of hygienic and processing facilities, and we talked about lack of food manufacturing processing and also good agricultural processing. Everybody is doing their own, and we also talked about, we gave examples of abattoirs. People just go to slaughtering houses and slaughter without anybody inspecting the slaughtering house, and there's some people use tires to burn and things that cause COVID. We all agree with me that the safety of individuals is no longer ensured. You have to leave them to do whatever they like. And so many people are dying every day without even knowing that all these things are causing things. Some of the people use carbide to ripen fruits and stuff like that. So these are all the issues that we identify in drying of grains on the ground that involve contamination and also aflatoxin build up in some grains. And we all know that once there is aflatoxin, it's difficult for any form of processing to remove aflatoxin from the system, and these are the things that causes cancer, causes low productions in animal death in human environment, and also it's very toxic. So, for this, the policy that we have discussed about that needs to be carried out, we have discovered that the government needs to enforce good manufacturing practices, good agricultural practices at all the level of the value chain at processing. And so we identify the ministries and agencies that do that, the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, the Ministry of Agriculture and Social Security, Food Security, Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, and then the agencies involved. We have Federal Institute of Industrial Research at Oslo in Lagos. So those are the people and the agencies and the ministries that can enforce food manufacturing and agriculture. And then there is a need for government to support good value chain development using modern technology at every development, every value chain. So we now finally talk about marketing and trade, which is also a big issue. And so the challenges about marketing and trade, we have multiple taxation and extortion. So different at every level, there are levels of taxation and all that. And then extraction, when these goods are being carried at every point, the road, law, and different categories of people we have to extort drivers to collect money. What they are supposed to carry for maybe like $1,000, they will end up carrying goods at maybe $1,500, and they have to convert it because of several levels of extortion. And again, we also identify that during transportation, they should identify identify that when drivers are transporting some goods along the line, they get to transport other goods. Maybe, for example, you're transporting dry grains and you're mixing it with wet cloths, and there can be contamination along the line. So transportation is an issue at marketing stage. So what we don't come up with is the policy like the government should remove all multiple taxation. They should stick to particular taxation and remove all multiple taxations. They should enforce the implementation of all banned chemical products. There are lots of banned chemical products in the country. And this because they have already discovered that these products came into the country before enforcing the law, and so they want these products to stay till some years before they can tell them to stop importation of those and the circulation of those products. And so what we need to do is that government needs to record all these products. They should buy them completely and remove them from the market, because people are still using these products and it's very dangerous to collect in the country. And so the government should enforce the implementation of all banned chemicals products that are still in use in the country. And another thing is the lack of good roads, and the policy is government should ensure good roads and infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Syndicate in 2. So please stand on the syndicate in 2.
Right there, you can start
our topic is good agricultural practices and good manufacturing practices. The lesson we learned from the conference is that good agricultural and manufacturing practices are vital to addressing food it boils down to good value chain system, starting from good quality seed and seed, and then to the farmers planting, farm maintenance, harvesting. Probably our work suggested that should be a rule where farmers are taught how to practice seed process before they can get to the final. We modern need bigger machines. We can start farmers on their own with knives, they can do something. The other lesson we learned is that external strategies for technical provisions of ideas are they in Nigeria. I don't know what's wrong with our sectional services. We have lost them both at the local level. Like I keep saying, ordinary sweet sorghum. If you don't prune it twice in a year, you don't get the best harvest. And then our farmers don't know that they go around this capital with corn. Everywhere sweet sorghum, everywhere nobody prune them. That's why you don't get the best harvest. So we from the lesson we learned from this workshop is that how can this conference enforce the involvement of external services across the village? Simple, we're not talking of meeting in charity and in this state. We're talking of going down to tell the farmers how to do this, how to prune your crop, how to plant your beans, how to plant your cowpea and the rest of it. So we learned that we are doing, and then someone coming from the Sudan told us that BDSP is business development support program that they farmers through the process. how to get it right, how to manage. You are planting 2 movies. What are your expected view? Record keeping. And the rest of it. It's only in Nigeria that somebody goes to 15 hectares to carry record keeping. And so I'm managing it. You don't really go consultants like us to take that. Then we also learned that energy sufficiency is key to manufacturing. But yesterday, when a professor was talking about coding, my body was very cold. So in the developed world, they know that before they produce most of their what do you call it, these zonal agro zones, whatever. The light energy is also key to ensuring that manufacturing are possible. I think these are the lessons we learn. In our community, we said there should be a research and development through our institution for quality development and institutional capacity through an entire value chain. Shocked that we have a doctor who was telling us, even within the institution, there are no linkages. The University of Sokoto is making research on seedling development because one of the linkages with NAM's area. So they don't know probably the problem this one has encountered, and how to solve it. So they will give them, the genetic, our institutions should be able to, they should find them. That was telling us where for over how many years, no public health coming for that before they used to do a research institute 5,000 as a 500. This is so we should leaders should take this very seriously that most of our technical centers are just salary centers where people are put there and they should take their salary. So please can we do something within these centers for quality seed? Because in Nigeria, I think only government can encourage farmers and give them seed centers. Farmers buy grain, they don't even know, don't differentiate between grain and seed. And that's why we don't get any expected yield. So we also said quality input also determine quality output. It's supposed to give you the ground that you get. And the maintenance, like the talking about director of tomatoes from Ghana. Anytime they mention Ghana, I don't want to make statements. How can we be talking of Ghana and this smaller country? And we are saying their tomatoes, their product are better than ours. So this research institute can help us. We can develop quality seed, and their life share can also be better for us to have bumper rights. Follow-up activities. We said we should, our meeting agreed that there should be, we should engage our stakeholders. They take local over real effort in food production and processing. People should create, there should be a synergy between our local farmers, and then they should also know that they are human beings. Their problems should be taken seriously. Lastly, entrepreneurship should be taken seriously to improve the ground between our local states and institutions and the public. Within our local farmers, we said we cannot talk about technology, American technology. I think Professor mentioned it there. We should be able to look inward for how our people can survive. The more we talk about creating machine processing and the things that are made our fathers used to us, and we have improved on them. Can we further improve on them and make it available for people to see food? I think that's what the community, except my professor, want to shout.
I think that's also the need for local states that are
our information officers across board should be able to make this discussion. In fact, I guess the way I complained, I didn't see all the head of local people from Nigeria. I one day from one of our heads, we didn't see all of them. This information that probably the Ministry of Health Staff and our stakeholders need the information you have shared, and we pray that we want them to
say that it's not enough for us to recognize the essence of agricultural practices without having a very serious awareness session out there. Because we can be in this house and we get good ideas, we get good practices, we have good seedlings. But if there is no information, there is no campaign for awareness, farmers will still be at the camp and be doing the same way. In that way, the efforts here to ensure that there is food security and something all of this, let the information and let everybody be on the same page for us to achieve what we want to get. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Syndicate Group 3 now. Syndicate Group 3. Hello? How's the mic?
Well done.
Yes. Thank you very much. So, Syndicate Group 3.
Very much. Syndicate Group 3 is on post-harvest loss management, value addition, and packaging. And we have a very reliable and dependable chairman and team members. So I'm presenting the summary of the issues that we discussed, following the outline that was shared. The first aspect is on issues. We identified and itemized the issues in this sector as follows. 1. In Nigeria, more focus has been on agricultural production and less on post-harvest activities. The food chain is from farm to table, but most times our concentration is on production and not worrying about the issues of post-harvest handling, marketing activities, distribution, and how the food gets to the consumer. So that's an issue that affects post-harvest. Inadequate production volume and post-harvest loss data. The lead speaker spoke extensively on lack of data, and then our chairman also yesterday in his presentation talked about the lack of data on post-harvest losses, and that is very important for you to make policy decisions and directions. So that's an issue that affects that sector. There's also inadequate post-harvest handling infrastructure, which include cold chain, dry chain infrastructure, potable water supply, transportation, rail, water, air, and road transportation facilities. There's the lack of storage facilities and market infrastructure, and generally processing infrastructures are lacking. And the presentations yesterday exposed us to how food is handled within our country. I can remember the pictures from the presentation by our chairman on post-harvest. We find the trucks carrying the food items, and that leads to deterioration and loss. We also have inadequate power supply to drive value addition, preservation, and storage. The cold chain system can actually not work without power supply, and most of these activities require power for processing, for preservation, and for value addition. Another issue that we identified here is inadequate knowledge of post-harvest handling practices by value chain actors, from farmer to the marketer. The way food products are handled, it shows a lack of knowledge or a lack of awareness of proper handling techniques. There's also food safety The Food Safety and Quality Bill 2023 is yet to be passed into law. And without a legal backing, every other thing we are talking about, we have not started. So that's a very important part of the issues that bedevil that sector. Another one is inadequate incentives and enabling environment for organized private sector to thrive in the post-harvest value chain. There's so much taxation in the system such that a post-harvest small handler or business organization can hardly thrive in the system. You pay state taxes, organization taxes, government, so many groups, and that becomes a high cost on their production and sustenance. There's also the lack of scale-up and commercialization of technologies on post-harvest handling. Many technologies brought up research centers, universities, and other private research institutes, but there's little on commercialization of these technologies. There's also poor research industry interface. Our previous speakers have spoken of that there's no linkage within the system. The industry is on its own, the research, the university, the research institutes, and then the extension end also is on its own. So these are issues that we outline that relate to post-harvest loss management and value chain addition and packaging. So what lessons have we learned from this summit? We'll support post-harvest loss reduction. We'll support post-harvest loss reduction activities. Industry and the private sector working together as a team makes us achieve more. So what inputs do we want the communicator to capture? We say the current huge post-harvest losses in Nigeria. Research and development activities should focus on providing solutions for real-life problems in the post-harvest space. We outline some follow-up activities and then identify who should be responsible for those activities. One is provision of sustainable power supply for post-harvest handling activities. To the National Assembly and Presidency on passing the Food Safety and Quality Bill for those activities. Who should be responsible? NESG, Summit, the Nigerian Governors Forum, the National Food Safety Management Committee, handling activities. FEC, FMOHSW, and social welfare. They should all be responsible for this advocacy to make that to be passed. Enabling environments for local manufacturing and fabrication of post-harvest equipment. This is very important. We need to encourage equipment for post-harvest handling activities in Nigeria, and we have organizations such as NASEMI, NBTI, and NOTAP. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Syndicate Group 4.
My name is Bishop Syndicate and I'm presenting Syndicate Group 4. And we're looking at financing and funding. And we're looking at on the forms of sectors, input, production, processing, and marketing. Those are the issues we are looking at.
So we know what funding is and financing. When you're looking at financing, you're looking at the process at which you can obtain this capital, and then under the funding, we're looking at the cash itself. So on the lessons of development efforts, so by development institutions, so there is need for them to work together. Another one, we said there is need for adequate financing and funding facilities. We have them, but they are not enough. So we can do more both public and private sector to upscale them. Then committing inputs. There is need for public-private partnership for financing multimodal transportation infrastructure to move agricultural products to the market. We know that infrastructure is a key issue, especially logistics. My sister here talks about post-harvest losses. So logistics is also one of the reasons why we experience post-harvest. So there is need for us to be able to move these agricultural products to the market. We also look at adequate financing for seed development and distribution to farmers. The seed companies, they are very few. So we need to do more. Most farmers don't even see them. Many of them are seeing them, they are just very few. So we feel there is need for them to be financed adequately so that we can get to the grassroots, the people that need it. The third one, there is need for the establishment of agricultural processing zones across the country. African Development Bank are already piloting 7 states, so that we can upgrade them so that every state, if every state cannot get, but let's see that every zone, the 6 geopolitical zone, can get the agricultural processing zones. It will enable farmers and production along this value chain. Then number 4, we are saying financing support to financial support to national, regional, continental, and global markets. We know that Nexi is supporting NEPT also. They are doing something in the area of EEG expansion grant to support traders to be able to move their products to the region. Another one, government should fund R&D. We know that actually the invasive research and development should be funded. And that's why you look at it in Nigeria, we're not doing enough because there's not much funding and financing for R&D. No country growth or develop the agriculture or any other sector without R&D. So there's need for R&D institutions to be funded. So on our follow-up activities, we are looking at the development of monitoring and evaluation into the financing and funding of agribusiness. Most of these funding are available, but some are not monitored, so they just go anyhow. So there's need for a tool that we can evaluate what it was meant for, has it been achieved, if it has not been achieved, what happened, so that we can now learn lessons from there on how to make it better. Then another one on our activity of follow-up, we are saying there is need for sensitization and advocacy to the existing financing and financial opportunities in the agri-value chain. Many farmers don't know, many stakeholders don't know that there are financing opportunities. So there is awareness down to the grassroots to tell them that yes, some of these fundings are available either in government, either in private sector. Because if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. So the more informed you are, the better. Thank you. In the agri-value chain. Many farmers don't know that there are financial opportunities.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Ivo, presenting from Civic Now, what we're going to talk on is country-specific challenges of food security and safety, the way forward. Now, food safety, instead there are quite a number of them. It's the challenges of just 3 majorly: poor handling and storage, and then standardization, the way forward, and of course advocacy and sensitization. Now, this advocacy and sensitization, we realize that actually there are a couple of policies, a couple of things that NCAs have been that others like about farmers and economic development is also something that is actually a fruitful safety policy without restriction, and then this issue is the way forward to policy. Now, for lessons, actually, there are a couple of policies to avoid what's very properly